Hello there guys, my name is Luke and it has been so long since I last said that. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks since my last video. It's been such a long time, but exams have been so stressful, but they're now done. Thank the Lord, thank God that we finished exams at last. They finished this morning. Right now it is Tuesday afternoon and my last exam, it finished at 10:30 this morning. So I came out of that exam like the happiest I've been in a long time because it's been a stressful few weeks, well a couple of months to be fair. But it's all done now. Exams, they sort of went okay, I think they could have gone better, but I've just got to hope that I've done enough to get into university. That is the main thing. So as I've been away for such a long time, there has been a huge amount of news in non-league. If I was to go through absolutely all of it, we'd be here for hours and hours and hours. So I've picked out the most important bits, so let's get into a quick fire bit of non-league news. Leyton Orient's owner, now former owner, Francesco Becchetti, is one of the most hated men in football, I think it's fair to say. He's come over from Italy with no idea how to run an English football club. He's taken them from a team that's challenging to get into the Championship right down into non-league, and in the process, obviously been massively hated by the Leyton Orient fans. There's a lot of staff that's been unpaid. They had a winding up petition just dismissed last week as the sale at Leyton Orient, it was on, then it was off, then it was on, then it was off, then it was on, then it was off, and then the winding up petition, Becchetti paid off some like desperate debts that had to be paid off at that point just to keep the club alive. And then eventually he sold it like a few days later to Nigel Travis, who is a Leyton Orient fan. He supported the club all his life and he owns the company Dunkin' Donuts. But anyway, he's done a pretty good video interview and it seems like he is the right man to take the club forward. But to be fair, it won't really take much to be better than Becchetti. Another club that appeared before the High Court were Ilkeston, a team that got relegated from the Northern Premier League last season, and unfortunately they weren't so lucky. They were wound up on the 2nd of June 2016. They only reformed in 2010, so they've only been going 7 years after Ilkeston Town were wound up back in 2010. So for a club to be wound up twice in the space of 7 years, it is absolutely unforgivable from the people at the top of that football club. And there are still hopes that the club can be kept alive. They are trying to find new owners, but I'm not really sure how that'll work because the club's already been wound up. But anyway, they're a club that's got a really good record of creating new talent. They've developed Shay Adams, but the saddest part of it is that they were wound up over a debt of just £14,000 that was owed to an office supplies company. With all the money that's being spent at the top of the game, the hundreds of millions of pounds, billions of pounds, a club like Ilkeston, centre of the community, has been wound up over a unpaid bill to an office supplies company. It's such a sad situation. There's been some changes to the promotion and relegation in Step 2, 3, 4 and 5 of non-league, so there's been some widespread changes. Step 2, the playoff structure has changed. Basically now there will be 6 teams in the playoffs rather than 4. It's a complex sort of thing to grasp. I'll make a video on it very, very soon, also including the stuff to do with Step 3, 4 and 5. Step 3, basically, there's only been 1 team relegated from each division this season, and then Step 4, there's going to be an extra automatic promotion spot for each of those leagues, and then more team promoted from Step 5 as well, basically to create a new league in non-league at Step 4. So there's some changes that are a bit confusing to sort of explain quickly, but I'll make a more in-depth video on it in the next few weeks. Now in terms of transfers, June is the most busy month of the year usually, so no surprise, there's been a huge amount of transfers during June this year. And considering I pretty much missed out the entirety of June from my transfer bonanzas because of exams, there's a lot of transfers to get through, so I picked out the top 15 transfers from June, so let's get straight into it. In at number 15 is Cole Stockton, a striker from Tranmere. He has moved to Hearts on a free transfer. In at number 14 is Maxime Biamu, who's joined Coventry from Sutton United on an undisclosed fee. In at number 13 is Ryan Donaldson, who is a winger. He has joined Hartlepool from Plymouth in the Football League. In at number 12 is Zane Francis Angol, who has left Kidderminster Harriers, my beloved club, and I'm gutted about this one. Not surprised he's left, but the fact that he's gone to Fylde is really disappointing. Again, title challenge from last year, so disappointed with the club he's chosen to go to, but not surprised that he's gone. He's a really good player, it's a good signing for Fylde. 11 is another signing for Fylde, it's Jay Lynch. He is a goalkeeper who played for Salford last year, very, very good player. 10 is Barrow winger Jordan Williams, who has joined Rochdale for £100,000. Nick Anderton, similar fee, £100,000. Left back, also from Barrow, he has signed for Blackpool. Jack Munns, he is a midfielder who was very impressive in Cheltenham's title winning campaign a couple of years ago from the National League. He has come back down to non-league and signed for Hartlepool. Michael Cheek, who was one of the top scorers in the National League last season, scored 24 goals, I believe. He has signed for Dagenham and Redbridge from relegated Braintree Town. In at number 6 is Brady Hickey. He's a central midfielder who plays for Barwell, so you might not think he's anything special, but he is one of the most hyped up players in non-league football. He's been described as the non-league Frank Lampard, and I'm surprised there's been no clubs that have taken a gamble on him before this point. He has had trials at the likes of Leicester City in the past, so he's a very, very good midfielder. And Nuneaton, bit of a coup there. Number 5 is Jake Gosling, who has signed for Torquay from Bristol Rovers. I was surprised at this one. I thought that he could probably go to someone slightly better than Torquay without being disrespectful to Torquay. He's a quality player. Rory Deakin has left Sutton United and gone across the border up to Scotland to sign for Dundee on a free transfer. Top 3, Amari Sterling-James has left Solihull Moors to go and sign for Mansfield in League 2. Stood out at Solihull last season. He's a winger, good player. Blair Turgott is number 2. He's a winger again, signed for Stevenage in League 2, so again another non-league winger that's got a good chance in the Football League. And in at number 1, and this is without hesitation really the best signing that I have seen in quite a while for non-league, and it is Ebbsfleet United who have signed Jack Payne. He's a central midfielder who played 38 times last season for Blackpool in League 2. A team that won promotion by the playoffs from League 2, may I add, has signed for the newly promoted side to the National League in Ebbsfleet United. It is his hometown club. Grew up in Gravesend, so it's a local club to him, but it's still an unbelievable signing, to be honest. Very, very good player. Now on to a section that I'm just going to talk about Harriers, basically. It's not been a great month for us, to be honest. We've lost pretty much the majority of the core of our squad. Arthur Gano had already gone. He'd gone up to Shrewsbury in League 1. Zane Francis Angolt and Jordan Tunnicliffe have both gone to AFC Fylde, our bitter title rivals from last season, so it's horrible to lose 2 players to them. Sam Hornby ended his loan with Harriers. He went back to Burton Albion. He's our goalkeeper from last year and he has signed for Port Vale, so another player that's gone to the Football League from Harriers. Elton Watala, today the news has been announced that he has also left the club. He's going to be signing for a club in League 1. It hasn't been announced which one yet, but apparently, according to Harriers, he's going to go to a League 1 side. And then the news that literally got me so unhappy for a good few days. This was horrible because he's not a player that I was expecting us to lose. He's a player that has signed a new contract, and it is our captain, Keith Lowe. He wanted to stay. He's a quality player. He plays for Harriers because he loves this club. He's far too good for this level, and he agreed to stay with us. Yet John Eustace has for some reason decided, you know what? We don't want him, and he's told him to go and find a new club, and no one can understand why on earth this is. There is literally no logic behind it. They've obviously fallen out or something. That's the only reason that we can really think of, but the whole situation makes no sense. He was in the National League North team of the season last season, so he's a quality player. That's the thing that we can't understand. Why are we've lost so many of our players anyway through no fault of our own. We just couldn't persuade the players to stay because they've all gone on to bigger and better things. But yet one player that was brilliant and wants to stay, we're telling to go. Doesn't make much sense to me. Anyway, Keith Lowe, he is still under contract. He literally signed a new contract with us a few weeks ago. That's why it makes even less sense. But anyway, if he doesn't find a new club, then he will stay with Harriers. So Harriers launched their new kit, and I'm really impressed with it actually. It's very similar to last year's. We've got a new kit supplier with Kappa, and there's some little black bits like on the edge of the sleeves. They put some black on there, and then some little sort of black trims. And we've also lost the little red and white pinstripes that we had last season on the kit, which were a particularly nice part of the kit. I really liked that, but we've lost that this year. Overall, the kit looks fairly nice, and what was even more nice was the video that they made to launch it. It was so professional. It was so good, to be fair. I was watching that thinking this is awesome. So just a little thing, but you know, I love that. Anyway, last thing, apologies that I haven't been uploading much in the last month. As I've said, there's not really a lot I can do about that. I had to focus on exams, but I've got a load of content planned. I've got in my little book here, where I've got all my video ideas, what I'm reading, all about the transfers and stuff that I've written down. I've got 41 video ideas in that book. All of them I'm hoping to make in the next few months. And that list, it's only growing. So In the next few weeks I'll be getting a new camera and a new microphone, just generally upgrading my equipment a little bit, just to try and get a bit more professional. I know it's still very amateur, but trying to get a little bit more professional if possible, so just to try and improve the quality of the videos, because that's what I'm always striving to do. So I'm planning to start a second channel, which is going to have just some vlogs, maybe some Football Manager, might do some streams of Football Manager, just so that you guys can get to know me a little bit better, because this is all completely non-league football related essentially on this channel, so something a bit more personal as a second channel is something that I'm looking to sort of venture into. As always, if you enjoyed this video and I'm looking forward to the next season, then click that like button and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.